Hello everyone, how are you doing on this wonderful Friday night? So I just got inspired to make this video to talk about Millie, my dog. If you don't know, I have a dog. Her name is Millie and she is a Yorkie, and I've had her for a little over 3 years. Yeah, she hears me talking about her. She's over there. Anyway, so yeah, she's 3 years old. I got her when she was about 8 weeks old. Actually, what ended up happening was, I think I've talked about this before. I had a coworker who originally got her, and they had another little dog, and they just didn't get along. And since that other little dog was like their baby, they realized that Millie, they just couldn't keep Millie. And I had actually been wanting to get a dog for a really long time, and had actually kind of been looking to get a Yorkie. Basically, since I'd moved out of my parents' house, I'd wanted to get a dog, and I had done some research on different breeds and everything, because I knew, like, living in apartments, a lot of times you're more restricted as far as like what type of dogs you can get. And I knew that I didn't want a super big dog because an apartment isn't a lot of space. And so yeah, I read a lot about Yorkies, and they do really well in small spaces because they're small and they're very smart and easily trained. So I was like, yeah, I want a Yorkie. And the funny thing was, that summer before, I actually had met with a Yorkie breeder to try and get a puppy from them. But when I met with the person, it seemed really sketchy, and it just didn't feel like a good thing, so I ended up not getting one. So then it worked out that a few months later I ended up getting Millie, and I don't think I've ever talked about this on YouTube, but when I first got her, I was in struggle city with her. I had such the hardest time. I had never had a dog before. Growing up, we never had dogs. I always remember us trying to beg our parents to get a dog, but they were totally against it. But we had the perfect backyard in the house that I grew up in. Ooh, this is real crazy here. Anyway, we had the perfect backyard to have a dog. It was huge, it was fenced in, it would have been fantastic. But my mom is actually allergic to pet dander, so we never had a dog growing up. And also I think my mom just didn't really want one. So yeah, I was that was one of my things, was I really wanted to get a dog. We always joke that my grandma did a really good job of raising her children to not like animals. She has 7 kids, and really none of them like pets, like dogs. But then all of the grandkids love them. Yeah, so it's really funny. So I was I really wanted a dog, but I was having such a hard time because, like I said, I had never had a dog before, and I was getting a dog in the middle of the school year, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. You know, the only really experience I had of dogs was going over to other people's houses and just seeing them for a little bit. It was always but they were already trained and everything, so I didn't know what to do. I was struggling so hard. It was a miserable, probably about 2 weeks, and I was oh my God, she was always barking, and she was always peeing in the apartment, and it was driving me insane, which you're it's a puppy, they do that, you gotta train them, which I know I did. And I do have to say, I had Millie for a while before I ever posted anything on any social media, because I really wasn't sure I was going to actually end up keeping her. I didn't know if I was gonna have to give her away to somebody else. And so I was really hesitant to post anything. So I remember it was probably a couple of weeks before I posted a picture on Instagram, and I know it was a long time before I posted anything on Facebook, so that a lot of my friends even knew that I had a dog. But it's funny because actually my sister's, well, her now husband at the time, her boyfriend, talked to me on the phone for a while and kind of was it's gonna take some time, you need to get some training, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up the next week enrolling her in a puppy course at PetSmart. And even after just the first week of, or the first lesson, it was like a huge difference. And I do have to say that Yorkies are extremely intelligent and extremely, well, at least Millie was easy to train. I know they can be kind of stubborn, and I think part of the thing that helped was we actually ended up being the only dog in the class. It was a Friday night class, and so we had the entire hour to devote to just training Millie, instead of like having the entire hour to train with several dogs. So I think that really helped. And then she's at the door smelling. And then I think what also helped was I then enrolled her in the intermediate class, and I ended up having the same trainer, and we ended up being the only dog again in that class. So it was like, I'm trying to think, I think each course was like 6 weeks. So it was like 12 weeks of training with the same trainer for an hour every week. Really, really helped. And she said, like, some of the things, like, she just picked up really quickly. And she was talking about how, like, she couldn't believe how quickly we got to lay down, because she said usually with small dogs it's really, really difficult to get them to lay down for some reason. She says, like, the big dogs, they have no problem. She said, you know, there was one dog she was training, and like all the way through the advanced course, and she could never get the dog to lay down. And like the first day we introduced her to lay down, she got it and she does it. And yeah, come here, Millie. Come here. So if you're new here, this is Millie. Hi, baby girl. Hi. What is it? What? So yeah, that is my dog, Millie. But yeah, it's so funny, like, how much I was struggling when I first got her, and to now where, like, she literally brings me so much joy. There is no better feeling than when you come home and your dog is just so genuinely excited and happy to see you. It is just like, ugh, amazing, and I love it. And I am so glad that I stuck it out with Millie and that we did the training, and I didn't end up having to give her away to somebody else. So yeah, like I said, I absolutely love her. I think having a dog or a pet is an absolutely wonderful thing to have, and if you are thinking about getting a dog, I would definitely say do some research first to know what kind of dog is going to be best suited for you and your living situation. But do it. There's so, oh my gosh, so much fun, so much joy. It's like never a dull moment. Hi. Her toy box is right there. What is it, Millie? So yeah, if you are on the fence about getting a dog, like I said, do some research on what kind of dog is going to best fit you. Like I said, I did a lot of research before even coming to the conclusion of that I wanted a Yorkie. So yeah, I went through several different dogs. Another big thing to me was hypoallergenic, because like I said, my mom is allergic to pet dander. So with Millie, since she is a Yorkie and she has hair and not fur, I'm able to bring her over to my parents' house with me, and she can be in the house. Whereas like my brother, when he brings his dog who's not hypoallergenic, the poor baby has to stay outside at my parents' house because she just can't come inside with my mom's allergies. Oh, I'm going, don't drop. Oh, she found her big bone. Her big bone. That was her Christmas gift last year. That bone is like literally the size of her. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to make a video about my dog because I just was like, today I was like, oh my God, I just love this dog so much. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go. I hope you're having a great night, and I will see you guys sometime in the future. Bye.